Hi guys, yesterday we have learnt about the arch. Today we will learn about the types of arches. First of all, the first one is flat arch. So in flat arch, as the name itself says, the arch is flat, there is no curve. Okay, so yesterday we discussed that all the wedges whatever are there, this each wedge is called a washer. So the arch in which all the washers emerge from a single point with equal radius and with flat camber is called flat arch. First one is flat arch. So let's go to second one. So in the second one, what will happen is whatever the washers are there, washers are there, they are all parallel to each other. See, this is a base, the middle one is called keystone. On either side of the keystone, whatever the washers are there, each this one is parallel to this one, this one is parallel to this one. That means their center point, they are not meeting at a single point, it's different for them. So the arch in which the washers are parallel to each other, this arch is called French arch. So the third particular arch we are going to discuss about, this is one of the primitive type of arch. In this arch what we will do is, suppose this is the opening. Simply what they will do is, instead of arch they will take two big stones, okay, and here they will make it straight, chamfered. So this is one stone, this is another stone. This will rest on the impost. Here one more stone will be there. So here what's happening, one side stone is supporting the other side stone. This is one of the very primitive stone. Here all the bricks will, whatever the other stones are bricks, here they will be here. So the arch is formed by the support of only two stones. This type of arch is called triangle arch. Fourth one we will discuss. This is also one of the primitive type of arch, and also this one is false arch. This is not a real arch, okay. Here what will happen is, whatever the stones or bricks are there, so what they will do is, they will, each side the stone will recede towards the arch. Whatever the stones are there in the same rows, these rows only they will exceed. What these small stones, whatever are they are exceeding towards the center, these are called corbels. And in between there is a locking stone. Here there will be locking stone, and the rest of the bricks or stones will get continue like normal brick wall. This is called capstone. So as the name says, these are called corbels. So the arch, the false arch, not this is not the real arch, this is a false arch which is being formed with the help of corbels, is called corbel arch. Okay, let's go to fifth type of arch. So normally we'll have in the arches in the later, after the primitive arches, in the later stage in Roman architecture, Greek architecture and all those, or Mughal architecture, they have used mainly two types of arches. That one is round arch. The first one is round arch. Round arch, the main thing is mostly the round arches are with center point and semicircular. So this is called a round arch. Again, inside the round arch, again there are different types. Whatever the arches are semicircular, exactly semicircular, they are called Roman arches. That means whatever yesterday we discussed, from the base to the introdos, the distance is called rise. With equal rise, this is semicircle and this is called Roman arch. Likewise, suppose the radius center point is below the base. That means this one is yesterday we discussed impost. The base is called impost. From here the arch will rise. So suppose this particular, wherever this diameter is coming, it's coming from the below the springing line. Below the springing line. That means this is not semicircular. So this comes from the whatever the center point, it is coming below the springing line. So here when the center point matches the springing line, then it is called Roman arch. When the center point is below the springing line, then this particular arch is called segmented arch. These washers will come like this. This one is called segmented arch. Let's come to one more arch. This is also type of a round arch. But here what happens is, whatever the introdos is there, it will extend. It is extending. Suppose normally your impost or base should be here, but actually impost or base is here below. That means the introdos, the inner fascia is coming below. So normally this is like stilt columns, no? So this arch is called stilted arch. Stilted. And also coming to one more type of round arch. Suppose normally in all the arches till now whatever we have seen, the springing line is flat, same from here, but and that is the springing line or impost. Impost means base. The arch in which imposts are different at different levels. Suppose this is not symmetrical arch. One side the base is here, the other side the base is here. This is called rampant arch. Different bases of the impost at different heights. So one more thing is, some of the arches as per the shape they are named. So suppose this is there, this is like horseshoe. So with broader, here it is broader and here it is narrower. This is called, the wedges will be like this. This is called horseshoe arch. And also it is one more name is, it is called Moorish arch. Horseshoe arch or Moorish. One more type of arch is there. See, this is also as per the name only. Suppose if you see it as per the, see, this is like bell shape. So this is also, our arch is also in term of bell shape. Okay. So here what's happening in bell arch, we will have a, this is normal semicircle only, but here the whatever the supports corbels, supporting corbels are there. Suppose normal corbel should be straight, but in this bell arch the corbels are also rounded off to give a form of a bell. So now it's nothing but like semicircle arch, the base corbels are rounded off to give the shape of a bell. So this one is bell arch. The next one is trefoil arch. Here what's happening is three different kinds of so the basically it is like this. Here the center point, this is a semicircular arch. If you see that invisible, what are the dotted lines, here one more, the center of the arch is this one. Here dotted line again, the center of arch is this one. That means three centers are there. And also whenever this kind of shape comes, this is called cusped. So the cusped arch with three centers is called trefoil arch. One more arch. Suppose normally we will say basket will be there. Normal, how will be the basket handle? So this will be like this. Basket handle arch is also there. So in this particular arch, what will happen is this will be like this. Here this particular arch is happened by here, and this particular arch is happened with the center point here, but this will have a center here, somewhere here. So there are three different curves. This one and this one are symmetrical. This one is having radius from here. So this is for look wise, this is looking like a basket handle. So this is called basket handle arch. And also there is one more name also for this, by chance if they ask in one more name, Hanse D pannier. Google for this, you will get the basket shaped arch, Hanse D pannier. This is a French name. So now we have completed the round arches. Let's go to the triangular pointed arches. So as the name itself, pointed arch is nothing but it will have a point. It will have a point. So here also what will happen? Suppose this point, if it is forming a equilateral triangle exactly, that means the center is here. These are all equals. Equilateral triangle. Then is the arch is happening like this. Then it is called equilateral arch. Suppose the arch is like this, and this particular thing is having radius point, center point here, and this particular arch is having the center point here outside. So this arch, this pointed arch is called lancet arch. Say, remember one thing, wherever the radius is large means lancet, large. One more arch is there, one more pointed arch is there. This one is having radius small means drop. So name itself is saying, no, suppose smaller means dropped. It, the height is dropped, that's why it is called smaller. So name itself drop arch, it is called drop arch. So if the radius is longer, then it is lancet arch. If the radius is smaller with the centers inside the interdose, then it is drop arch. one more arch is there, pointed arch only. In this particular arch, what is happening is it will have four centers. Suppose this is there. So here we are having this particular is having center here. This particular shape is having center here. Okay. Whatever this radius here, it is coming from here. It is coming from here. So actually it's almost 4 centered arch. So if you get a question like what is the 4 centered arch? 4 centered arch, you should answer 4 centered point arch. You should answer Tudor arch. Tudor arch. Next this shape is very different, like an onion. The name itself, this is called ogee arch. Here also 2 centers, here 1 center, here 1 center, and the shape, whatever this shape is there, it's like a cusp, central large cusp. This is called ogee arch. Same Tudor arch. Suppose Tudor arch plus stilt arch. Earlier we discussed stilt means the whatever the washers are there, they will continue. The entrance will continue bottom. So if you consider Tudor arch with stilt continuing, pointed Tudor arch with stilt continuing to the bottom, this particular arch is called ogee arch, surbassed arch. So here what's happening, your impost will be here only, your base will be here, and points will be here. So mainly here what's happening is the rise, whatever the from base to the top of the arch, rise is there. If rise is less than half of the span means the distance between these two. If the rise is less than half of the span distance, then it is called surbassed arch, surbassed. So that's it guys for today. We have learnt about different types of arches. Once again I will review. We have seen mainly the primitive arches, then the round arches, then the triangular pointed arches. Okay. First one, if it is flat arch with washers radiating from a center point, flat arch. This flat one only for with washers parallel to each other, then it is called French arch. Triangular, it's a primitive arch. Here only here one stone is kept, here one stone is kept. Stone, either side stones are supporting on one on another. Vertical load is coming on these two. This is very primitive arch. This is called triangular arch. Here this is a false arch. This is not a real arch. Here the bricks are only kept receding towards the center, and a capstone will be in the middle. So this is one of the corbelled. This is also a primitive arches, sometimes used in Indian architecture also. So whatever the round arches are there, all these are all round arches. The first one is Roman arch. Roman arch is with the semicircular introdos. This is Roman arch. The radius point and the impost, they are on the same line. So it's a circular arch only with radius point below the impost point. Then this is called segmented arch. Okay. Stilted arch, what's happening here, the round arch only, this is continuing, the introdos is continuing below, the washers are continuing below in a straight line, then it is called stilted arch. Rampant arch means the impost, they are at different levels. This is rampant arch. Horseshoe, the shape itself is there, horseshoe arch, and Moorish, this is also called Moorish arch. Bell shaped, what happening is this is a round arch only. The base, whatever the supporting corbels on either side, they are made into curved shape. So they are made into curved shape. So this is called bell arch. Trefoil arch, we have three different radius circles coming in a cusped form. Cusped form, this is cusp. Cusped form, this is called trefoil arch. Basket handle means name itself says if it is like basket handle with three different, suppose here one radius is there, these two are symmetrical with one more radius coming from down, this is called basket handle arch. This is a French arch. Another name is Anse de Panier. Now coming to point arches, equilateral arches, suppose if this is a point arch with equilateral triangle inside, this is the equilateral triangle with point, this is called equilateral arch. Suppose if the radius is lengthier than the in between spring line, then the radius outside lengthier means long, lancet, this is called lancet arch. Length is small, that means it's got dropped, the rise is dropped, so this is called drop arch, that the radius is inside the spring line. Here again this arch with four centered point arch is called Tudor arch. Four centered point arch is called Tudor arch. This shape itself is again different variety of shape. Bogie arch it is, onion shape. And Sarbast arch, I told you, Sarbast is arch nothing but Tudor arch only with L enclosed, elongated stilt. It is called Sarbast arch. Okay guys, thank you for today's class. Let's meet with another interesting topic for the Deputy Architect examination preparation.